NoDQ.com.
Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift NoDQ. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in to call in. And if you would like to support the website this weekend, head over to NoDQ.com/t-shirts. All NoDQ shirts are 20% off. Great way to support the website and the personalities. With that being said, let's get down to your questions today. This one comes from William. First question. Do you think it is a mistake for WWE to do Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns all over again? I think Braun Strowman going heel is a mistake on a creative level, and I feel like it is going to hurt Strowman's character. At the same time, WWE really has no other options for Roman Reigns. WWE did not think out the long-term plans very well. WWE should have been building up potential opponents for Roman Reigns over the last several months, but they didn't. And the heel side is very weak right now. WWE pretty much needed to turn Strowman so Roman would have a strong opponent, a credible opponent. You look at guys like Kevin Owens and Baron Corbin, how poorly booked they have been in recent months. Guys like Bobby Lashley. Lashley, I think, would have been a great heel, and maybe he will turn heel at some point, but again, WWE really did not utilize him the way that they should have. So yeah, I feel WWE pretty much backed themselves into a corner by not building up somebody for Reigns during most of this past year. Got this one here from Garrett Mills. Do you see Braun Strowman winning at Hell in a Cell? If he doesn't, then what was the point of him winning Money in the Bank? I would be surprised if Braun Strowman wins the Universal title at Money in the Bank or anytime soon, because Roman Reigns just won it. WWE spent all this time, 3 years pretty much, with this Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar story. Roman Reigns finally wins the big one from Lesnar, and now I feel like WWE is going to give him a lengthy run as champion. I would be very surprised, personally, if Strowman won. Now, the other part of your question is, why did WWE even book Strowman to win Money in the Bank if there was never a plan for him to win the title? And I think that that is an excellent question, and unfortunately, I don't think there's a really rational answer for it. My feeling is that WWE went with Strowman because they really had no confidence in the other guys. They did not have the confidence in Kevin Owens. So they just went with the biggest star in the match, Braun Strowman. And I talked about this at the time, that Strowman winning Money in the Bank was not the right idea because Strowman's character doesn't do that. At least the babyface Braun Strowman doesn't do that. The babyface Strowman that we have come to love over the past year or so, that Strowman would have come out at SummerSlam and just announced himself being added to the match as a triple threat, and he would have just beat up both guys and won the title. That would have been the Strowman we all came to love. But unfortunately, WWE has to get Roman Reigns over as a babyface as much as they can, and that means Braun Strowman's babyface run is pretty much over at this point. Got this one here from Butthole Weeb. All right. Do you think Braun Strowman turning heel for a 6-man tag team match is necessary? I feel like that this may hurt the Shield. I don't think it's going to hurt the Shield. If anybody's getting hurt from this, it's Braun Strowman. Now, I'm sure Strowman will look like a monster in these matches, and he may even beat Dean Ambrose in a singles match or Seth Rollins in a singles match. As far as the 6-man match at the Super Showdown goes, I could see the Shield winning that with Drew McIntyre or Dolph Ziggler, most likely Dolph Ziggler, taking the fall, and Strowman will be protected. So I don't feel like the Shield is going to be hurt in the end. They might lose a singles match here and there leading up to Super Showdown in Australia. Most likely 100,000 people in attendance because WWE can pretty much make up whatever number they want. That's what they do. But yeah, I feel like in the end, the goal of all this is to get Roman Reigns over. So that is the idea. It might hurt the Shield a little bit. It might hurt Braun Strowman a little bit. But in the end, I think WWE's goal is to just elevate Reigns as much as possible. Got this one here from Demon Ninja. Am I the only person who sees the Shield reforming is a heel move and a heel turn for Seth and Dean, given that at any point when all three Shield boys were healthy during Brock's title reign versus Roman, could have done the same thing that they did to Braun? I do not see it as a heel move. I never did think of the Shield coming out there and helping Roman as a heel move because Braun Strowman was doing the heel move by trying to capitalize on a weakened Roman Reigns. Now, yes, the Money in the Bank contract gives you that ability to cash it in anywhere, anytime. But the noble thing to do, the babyface thing to do over all these years would be to announce your cash in advance on a fresh opponent. RVD did it, One Night Stand. John Cena did it, Raw 1000. Braun Strowman came out there and said, well, I'm not going to cash in on somebody when their back is turned, but that did not stop him from just standing out there at ringside waiting till these two guys had a back and forth epic showdown and then trying to cash in on the weakened opponent. That is a heel thing to do. That doesn't fall in line with what Braun Strowman's character has been. So for the Shield to come out, they see their longtime friend and ally in trouble, and they wanted to help their friend who was about to be screwed out of the title that he worked so hard to get. Keep in mind, this is WWE's story. Roman Reigns has been getting screwed. He should have won at the Greatest Royal Rumble. He's been having to deal with all the corporate BS, Brock Lesnar being Vince's boy. He finally wins the title, and now Strowman's going to take advantage of him when he's in a weakened state. So yes, the way I see it, the Shield were acting like baby faces coming out there and helping Roman Reigns. This one comes from Rollins versus Styles, please. Why in the world are they still doing Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss? If they're trying to make all the women's pay-per-views a huge deal, then wouldn't it make sense to do Trish Stratus versus Charlotte? Battle of the 7-time champions. Perhaps WWE wants to save that match for a different time. Maybe WWE doesn't want to do a face versus face match and risk Charlotte getting booed, which is pretty much happening now anyways with the Becky Lynch storyline. But the idea is that Trish can elevate somebody else who could benefit from working with her. Charlotte doesn't really need to work with Trish right now. Alexa Bliss is struggling because of the fact that she lost the title to Ronda Rousey and she needs something else right now. Charlotte's got the hot feud with Becky Lynch. So by having Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss, it gives Alexa something to do and gives her a significant role at the Evolution pay-per-view. So I really don't see an issue with it. Got this one here from Isaac. Could you see the Big Show getting one more big push as a heel before he goes into the Hall of Fame? Interesting question. I think that it will largely depend on what he can do physically at this stage of the game. He was supposed to come back a while ago, but apparently he wasn't recovering quite as quickly as he was hoping. So I think the jury is still out on that. I could see him possibly doing a WrestleMania Battle Royal, Andre Battle Royal. Maybe he'll even win it one more time. Who knows? But I don't see him coming back and doing a full-time run again. He may come back for a big match here and there. He may come back to help elevate other talents. but I think that's as much of the Big Show as we're going to see. Should he get a nice send-off? The same thing can be argued for a lot of guys. I don't know if he's going to get it or not. Mark Henry went into the Hall of Fame but didn't really get the big send-off. I don't know if the same thing is going to happen with the Big Show or not. My feeling is he's just going to quietly fade out. He'll come back for a big match every now and then, and that'll be it. Got this one here from Alfredo. Hey, my compadre Aaron, why do you think that Vince never gave Val Venus and Billy Gunn a chance to be main eventers? They seem to be superstars with all the package that Vince likes. Well, in Billy Gunn's case, WWE did try with him. He won the 1999 King of the Ring, and he bombed. He had the match with The Rock at SummerSlam, was a forgettable match. Billy Gunn could not measure up to The Rock on the mic or in the ring. Charisma-wise, he just didn't have it. WWE tried with Billy Gunn, and Billy Gunn could not get over at that main event level. Billy Gunn was best off being in a tag team. He was good with the Smoking Guns, and he was even better with Road Dogg as the New Age Outlaws. And one might argue that Road Dogg was the charisma of that team. Billy Gunn had a good look. He was pretty good in the ring, but I think they were trying too hard with him. And JR was always calling him the best pure athlete in WWE and all this stuff to try and get him over. But it just didn't work out. Billy Gunn just wasn't able to succeed at that main event level. But WWE did try with him in '99. And as far as Val Venus goes, to me, it was just a gimmick that was going to have a shelf life. It was a fun gimmick for the Attitude Era, but it was not going to be a main event character. That's just the way I saw it, at least. Sean Morley was a good wrestler, and he did the Val Venus role really well, but I don't think he was a top-tier guy. Just my opinion on it. I think the character was cool, but again, it was only going to last for so long. And eventually, even the big Valboski runs out of steam, if you know what I mean. All right, this one comes from Mr. Yuck. Rosemary has been absent from TV time on Impact, etc. Is this the prime opportunity for WWE to finally pull the trigger on Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail, or just hire her in general? She is the only woman I could see taking Charlotte Flair to the limit. Interesting, because I think there are a lot of women that could take Charlotte Flair to the limit, notably Ronda Rousey, but okay, Rosemary, whatever. I think that it's probably too late to do Sister Abigail. I think if it was going to be done, it should have been done a long time ago. Doing it now, I'm like, come on, you had opportunities. It just feels like desperation if WWE tries it now. I think WWE could consider bringing her in. She might be an interesting character. And yeah, Bray Wyatt could use something right now, but at the same time, I feel like it should have been done already if WWE was going to do it. Got this one here from C. Infamous Chris. Hey Aaron, I'm here for a unique question. With Earl Hebner being fired over a decade ago, do you see him returning to WWE? I would hope that he goes into the Hall of Fame one day. I think he deserves it. I think both Hebners should be in the Hall of Fame. But WWE hasn't really done much in terms of recognizing the referees. I think it definitely should be done. I think the Hebners were a big part of WWE, not just as referees, but also in storylines. I think of the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant storyline with the main event match in 1988 with the twin referees. And then later during the Attitude Era, Earl Hebner feuding with the Faction, with Triple H and Vince. And that big match with Jericho pinning Triple H on Raw, and then Earl Hebner being brought out and forced to reverse the decision. Earl Hebner's been in some very entertaining storylines over the years, and a lot of people thought of him as one of the all-time greatest referees. But unfortunately, his end in WWE was not on good terms. He was fired for the company for allegedly, I think, selling bootleg merchandise or something along those lines. Hopefully WWE will overlook that and honor him in the Hall of Fame. I think him and Dave should definitely go in together, the Hebner brothers. I would love to see that happen. This one comes from Stefan. Hey Aaron, if the crowd is supposed to, quote, get kayfabe and play along when actually entertained, besides acting in the same play as the wrestlers, are they hurting their own experience and story for the television audience when they hijack good matches? Everybody has their own opinion on what a good match is, so for some of these fans, they might feel that they're hijacking a bad match or they're hijacking a bad creative decision, and that's up to them. They pay their ticket, and at the end of the day, they're going to do what they're going to do. WWE already has their money, but yeah, I think it's counterproductive to hijack a match with a guy who people tend to think highly of, i.e., Seth Rollins and even Dolph Ziggler. I know some people have cooled off on Ziggler, but Rollins and Ziggler at Extreme Rules, I think, is the best example of the fans really being counterproductive by doing the countdown noise and not really paying attention to that match. It just reinforces Vince's opinion that he knows better than the audience what they want. That's my take on it. I think the fans, if they're going to hijack, they need to be consistent with what they're hijacking. But when you start hijacking the guy you supposedly love and want to see be the top guy, then you're not doing yourself any favors in terms of trying to maybe get Vince to change his mind on something. That'll do it for this edition of NoDQ video. Thank you all for watching as always, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. I will see you guys next time.